The embryo made it to the uterus. So why doesn't every pregnancy begin? The embryo made it to the uterus. So why doesn't every pregnancy begin? After fertilization, the developing embryo begins its journey through the fallopian tube. During those first few days, it continues dividing and changing. Eventually, it reaches the uterus as a blastocyst. But arriving in the uterus is only part of the journey. The blastocyst still has to complete several important steps before implantation can actually begin. First, the blastocyst must hatch from its protective outer layer. This allows its cells to interact directly with the uterine lining. But timing is also extremely important. The blastocyst has to reach the uterus at the right stage of development, while the uterine lining is ready to receive it. The cells of the embryo and the cells of the uterus begin communicating through complex molecular signals. It's almost like two biological systems are checking whether the conditions are right. If the uterine lining is receptive and the embryo is developing normally, the blastocyst can attach to the surface. Then, the process of implantation begins. The blastocyst starts embedding into the uterine lining, gradually becoming more deeply connected with the tissue surrounding it. But sometimes, this process doesn't happen. The embryo may stop developing before it can successfully attach. In other cases, the uterine environment may not be receptive at that particular time. Even when fertilization has occurred, implantation still depends on many biological processes working together. One important factor in many very early pregnancy losses is chromosome abnormalities in the embryo. These abnormalities can occur during the formation of the egg or sperm, or during the earliest cell divisions after fertilization. When the embryo cannot continue developing normally, implantation may fail, or the pregnancy may end very early. And sometimes, even after careful medical evaluation, scientists cannot identify one exact reason why implantation did not occur. That uncertainty can be frustrating, because fertilization itself does not guarantee that a pregnancy will become established. When implantation fails, the embryo does not establish a pregnancy, but when everything aligns correctly, the story is very different. The blastocyst successfully attaches and begins embedding into the uterine lining. Tiny connections with the mother's tissue start forming around the developing embryo. These connections will eventually support the exchange of oxygen and nutrients as development continues. This marks one of the most important transitions in early pregnancy, from a fertilized egg to a developing embryo, and finally, to an